is everything you need to know about children's picture books, and we are about to get into the nitty-gritty of how to write a rhyming book. Now, we've already talked about the importance of picking your meter, but that's just the first step to success here. The second is actually more important, and that's making sure that your syllables fit into the meter you've chosen. If you're trying to shoehorn words into your meter, it's going to come out sounding not just forced, but actively unmemorable. You won't find the exact phrase, "How the Grinch Stole Christmas," anywhere in the actual book. And that's because if you did, you would have to read it like, "How the Grinch Stole Christmas," which was just as uncomfortable for me to say as it was for you to hear. The takeaway here is that just because you end a couple of lines with words that rhyme, doesn't mean it reads like a poem. And if you're not sure about the sound and readability of some of your own poems, grab a friend and ask them to read it out loud to you cold turkey. If they're stumbling around trying to figure out how to read a line, then you might want to rework that part. Now, just like everything else, this rule can be broken, but it takes a lot of skill and practice to do it well. Goodnight Moon breaks this rule so well you hardly even notice, and it actually winds up being to the betterment of the story. In The Great Green Room, There Was a Telephone and a Red Balloon doesn't follow a consistent meter, but as the story progresses, it slowly establishes one until you finally get to a comb and a brush and a quiet old lady who is whispering hush. But then the story breaks its meter almost immediately with the next page that says Goodnight Moon. And only then does the story finally settle into its sing-song rhythm. So does that make it bad poetry? Absolutely not. It makes it skilled poetry, because this deviation from meter actually helps the story achieve its goal, to lull a child to sleep. As it settles into its rhythm, it creates a lullaby effect. And even if there were some poetic missteps at the beginning, the final stanza, "Good night stars, good night air, good night noises everywhere," is so satisfying that it doesn't even matter. It's also a great example of our next tip, choose your rhymes wisely, which we'll talk about in the next video.